it seems as though there is credence to this whole buzzer situation. Now, let's say there isn't. Let's say that's also wrong. That doesn't change anything. That, the Astros players still knew what was coming and were able to hit it because of it. Yeah. Here's where it goes from there. What you currently have is a series of MLB players who are normally quiet. Guys who normally don't have opinions on things. Dude, if you get Mike Trout mad enough to where he actually voices an opinion on something, you have fucked up. In the beginning, there was baseball. It is Wednesday, February 19th. I am CJ, and Shaquille O'Neal has a big old pair of avocados down there. How you doing today, Evan?
Not good. I'm pissed off. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Let's get right into it because we're not happy with Manfred, and we shouldn't be.
We're not happy whatsoever. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody that I can be found on Twitter at CJ in Pinstripes. I tweet once every year. What about you, Evan?
At Evan D. Wetzel 4.
You tweet once every minute.
3 seconds. I should be tweeting right now, but we got to do the show.
What are we pissed about?
Everything. The fact that we have changed who we are pissed at.
What's
going
on here?
Every day, it seems, is ridiculous.
I would like to piss on Rob Manfred.
That would be nice. I actually posted about that.
You want to know what's funny? We were thinking about doing a show last week because reasons, but it didn't end up happening because scheduling conflicts and whatnot. We wanted to do a show because we were pissed at Rob Manfred because of what he wanted to do to the playoffs. So I'm not sure if you want to start there.
We're definitely going to talk about that. The point I was trying to make is that it seems that the anger gets shifted almost every day. It started where we were mad at the players, then it went to, the manager and the GM. Then Crane said some stupid stuff. Then the players came back and said some more stupid stuff. Then Manfred said some stupid stuff. Everyone has said idiotic things. I have a list of players, including JD Martinez, who won't shut his stupid face either.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we start off at least in as chronological order as we can on how
that's fine.
Like, we all thought this Astros thing was done. It is nowhere close.
It's not going to be close. We're going to be talking about it all season, and we may for the next couple years until they fix this.
So by now we all know what the punishment was. 2 dudes got suspended. The team got fined pocket change, and that was pretty much it. Now people are pissed because it seems as though there is credence to this whole buzzer situation. Now, let's say there isn't. Let's say that's also wrong. That doesn't change anything. That, the Astros players still knew what was coming and were able to hit it because of it. Yeah. Here's where it goes from there. What you currently have is a series of MLB players who are normally quiet. Guys who normally don't have opinions on things. Dude, if you get Mike Trout mad enough to where he actually voices an opinion on something, you have fucked up.
I mean, you could even say similar things with Stanton. He doesn't really talk that much.
Stanton doesn't talk much. Bellinger doesn't talk much. Markakis doesn't talk much. And he came out saying that the Astros players deserve beatings.
Yeah.
Not in the metaphorical, man, I took a beating. No, he thinks that their butts should be exposed and should be hit with canes.
Yeah. You remember Shirley Jackson's The Lottery?
No, I don't.
Well, basically, it's a lottery where if your name gets drawn, you go to the town center and it's a public stoning.
Oh.
So you don't want to win that lottery.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, so public stoning for the...
I would like... Hey, man, Nick Markakis, he'd probably enjoy that. But, okay, so all of this stuff gets said. Then, well, even before any of that, you've got the press conference. This is going to age like toilet wine. It has already aged like toilet wine. First, you have the players out there basically going, I am sorry that I cheated. We won't do it again. We haven't done it since. That's basically the energy in which they came out with their apologies.
I mean, and then it even shifted when Correa started, bad-mouthing Bellinger back.
Well, we'll get to that. You also had Crane pretty much coming out and saying, yeah, I don't think that this whole situation gave us an unfair advantage. I think we would have won either way. So then why'd you do it? Right. Why did it happen?
Let's also be clear. I don't want to call it a complex system because it's probably not. But it's complex enough that they had to put effort into creating it.
Yeah.
It's like, and there were multiple ways for them to relay that sign. There's the trash cans. There might be wires. There might be several other things that we did that we don't even know
watches.
about. I'm sure we only know about 60% of this whole thing anyway, and it's going to keep getting worse.
Yeah, and much like a kid who gets caught stealing cookies from the cookie jar, you're not going to tell me that was the one time you ever did it. You're not going to tell me that's the one time. 2017, so what? They were still good in 2018, 2019. No, they were cheating then too. Get the hell out of here.
I didn't have a cookie jar because of that problem.
I didn't have a cookie jar because my parents didn't care if I had cookies. They just left them all out. As you can tell, I just had access to all the cookies. So we didn't have a jar. Sometimes my mom would put like saran wrap over a plate of cookies.
Makes sense.
But that's not as fun.
My mom wouldn't even let me drink soda, which is why I now drink more soda than any person on this planet.
Oh, hell. I used to drink all the sodas. I used to drink like 3 cans a day. It was really, really bad.
I was at that problem.
Okay. So here's the thing. Now you got Bellinger out here making his comments. And his comment was basically, if I just hit a home run off of Aroldis Chapman to send my team to the World Series, dude, you think I'm going to be thinking as I round the bases, well, I hope my jersey doesn't come. No, please don't. Yeah. You're going to be elated. Right. You're not going to know that it doesn't make sense.
And then to think, oh, I need to go change my shirt before I do an interview.
By the way, have you heard that Altuve's story has now changed?
Oh, it's changed multiple times, but also the statement that Correa made got contradicted completely by what Manfred said yesterday when he confirmed they, in fact, did use trash cans in the 2017 postseason the whole way through.
Yeah, so, again, we'll get to that, but, I guess we can talk about that. So, Bellinger makes his comment about Altuve, and then Correa basically comes out, and I swear to God he says the phrase, "we won fair and square." He did. This is delusion on another level. This is delusion that you don't find anywhere else. How? And I kind of feel like there's a part of Carlos Correa that feels really bad and wants it to not be true that his team won because of cheating. And I think he so desperately just wants it to. It's one of the things, if you just say it enough times, maybe it'll be true. Maybe I can just say we won fair and square, just like our owner said we won fair and square. Maybe if I just keep saying that, this guilt of mine will go away.
Well, I think what the entire league believed, including the Astros who did this, was that the players wouldn't speak up. I don't think they saw this magnitude of hate that was going to hit them like this, and it has, which is why the words that they tried to use to sweep it under the rug didn't work and enraged us even more. This is going to last for a while because they continued to dig that hole.
Right, so here's the thing. Carlos Correa, you can jump directly up my butt. And Rob Manfred can join him there because now you've got Rob Manfred who has told all MLB teams, look, if there's any form of retaliation, vigilante justice, there will be suspensions. So now here's where this gets really fucked up. Now you can't pitch the Astros inside. Now a stray pitch gets away. That umpire interprets that as you throwing at an Astros player. So now you can either throw middle or out.
Right. It's like they've given them invincibility here. There's nothing they can possibly do wrong, even though everything they did was wrong. Yeah. Why is everyone else getting punished for someone cheating?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make even a lick of sense.
We can't pitch inside to a team now. That's part of the strategy of the fucking game.
Yeah. Brush people off the plate. They crowd the plate, you push them back.
No, and you know it's going to be over magnetized when they play the Yankees and shit.
Yeah.
Because people have made this a Yankees-Dodger issue, and it's not. It's the whole league. They cheated the whole league, and we need to separate from that and understand that every other team that's not the Astros is innocent and needs to work together to fix this. Maybe not the Red Sox, but everyone else does.
Right. I mean, you've got players from just about every team weighing in on this. And here's the part that makes this really difficult. So Manfred gave a bunch of players immunity for participating. He had to do that. That's something that it's
Every player he could have given one immunity.
No, you got to understand something. This was a players association rule. Legally speaking, there was an agreement between MLB and the players association.
No, I understand that. But regardless of that being the fact, he could have taken away the trophy, and that would have ended it right there.
Okay, so I mean, we'll definitely get to that in a second. The point I was trying to make is now what we have is this awkward situation in the MLB union where you have, like, I don't know, let's say 5% of players in the union that the union needs to protect, which is now pissing off the other 95%. Right. So what has to happen? What can possibly happen? The union has to protect the Astros, but the rest of the players want blood.
Yeah, and I believe Tony Clark fought hard for the immunity thing. And he should. That's his job.
And again, it's not a matter of, he didn't have to fight at all. Right. It was an already established agreement.
Exactly. The only reason players can get in trouble and suspended for steroids is because they came up with a testing system that the player union allowed.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. They could have easily said no.
Yeah.
And then we'd be somewhere else.
Right.
But they had to negotiate this.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that for the next CBA, they negotiate something so that when this cheating bullshit happens, maybe the players go, no, you can get them now.
Right.
Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, look, now we'll kind of jump over to what you've said. So the obvious answer here is to vacate the 2017 championship, which our wonderful, wonderful commissioner has said that he doesn't really want to do because he doesn't see a reason to just simply take away a hunk of metal.
Yeah. He also said that he didn't want to be the first to do it because it's never happened before.
Dude.
Yep.
Adam Silver, in the most unprecedented move, forced the Clippers owner to sell their team because of racist remarks. And I think we can all look back at that now fondly. He made a good decision.
Fantastic.
That was awesome. Never been done before, and he had the balls to do it. You want to know something? Yeah, guess what? There's no precedent of an issue like this having a team lose their championship. There's also never been a situation like this. A precedent needs to be set. And this feckless moron who refers to this championship, this thing that the players spend their entire lives trying to achieve, first he calls it a piece of metal, then he says, nah, what's the point?
It's literally called the Commissioner's Trophy.
Yeah.
That's your fucking trophy, you piece of shit.
You get to decide what happens with it. So it seems to
Let's
me like...
just call it a hunk of metal piece of shit trophy then.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I'm so... I'm getting so heated right now because it's idiotic.
You said something to me before we came up here. You said that your what was it? Your grandmother's bingo league wouldn't even call their trophy a piece of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
You just have to have the smallest little bit of respect. As bad as a guy like Gary Bettman is... He would never call the Stanley Cup a piece of metal.
Hell no. You don't demean your entire league. That's what you fight for every year. And the problem with this whole thing is Manfred is so concerned about the financial aspect of how much money he's going to make for these owners that he's making all these idiotic changes, like you said before, with the playoffs. That's to make money. That's all it is. And the reason... One, he didn't want to do these certain things for the Astros is because he doesn't want to lose money. And making them the villain is going to get them more money because look at the Angels right now. They're selling out their opening day because the Astros are coming to town and Dodgers fans want to go boo their fucking asses.
Yeah.
So it's making the Angels money. You think the Angels owner is now going to say, oh, no, he's doing a bad job?
But at the end of the day, he works for a specific set of people, okay? Rob Manfred works for the 30 MLB owners. Yeah. And if they see that this guy is going to be weak on these matters, he'll be out. He's gone. They have the ability to fire him.
I mean, he should be. And one point that I also made to you before was he's the opposite of Gary Bettman in the fact that he's good at the financial shit, but sucks at everything else. Yeah. You need to be a balanced commish. Okay, you think the fan gives a shit that you're making money for the owners? That doesn't help us. You need to support the owners, the fans, and the players. That is your job.
They should have just gone with Joe Torre when they had the chance.
Yeah, and that's what everyone's saying on Twitter is we want Joe Torre to be the next commissioner, and it's not going to happen.
It's just so crazy. The obvious answer is you strip the title. I don't understand why this is so difficult.
And I don't know how we can get him to switch course at this point because we've gone through some nasty mess as we speak, and it doesn't look like he's shifting course even slightly.
I mean, I don't know. This thing's going to drag on for so long. It eventually is going to get to the point where he's never going to make that decision. If it can be just loud enough to the point. Because, come on, man. Like, okay, sure, the Astros won their World Series, but now everyone wants their pound of flesh. Give the pound of flesh. The Astros can still celebrate their World Series, whatever. Let that happen and satiate everyone else.
I think the one thing that's going to be affected most for the Astros, anyone who was on 17 is not going to make the Hall of Fame now. I think it's going to be very hard. If they're a pitcher, maybe. Justin Verlander might be fine. Yeah. But Altuve, Correa, and Bregman, most likely not.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, not just this year, but going forward in general.
Because they're going to have to not only win another World Series, they're going to have to do it clean and prove that they did it clean. And people are going to question every game, every move, every home run. Everything they do is going to be questioned.
I honestly, other than having the trophy taken away, there is one other thing, and it's like I mentioned before the show started. We all have to get together and gang rape Rob Manfred. And I know you hear that and you think to yourself, okay, well, what's wrong with you? I'll tell you what. There's nothing wrong with me. But if you won't participate in this gang rape, can I tell you something? Can I ask you a question? Why do you hate baseball? Why do you hate America? Why do you hate our national pastime? Never mind. In the case of one Robert Manfred.
Yeah, I'm fine if we shove a pineapple up his ass or something.
Let me know your thoughts. Once again, that's at CJ in Pinstripes.
You remember Bruce Almighty?
I do remember Bruce Almighty.
When the monkey comes out the
monkey,
ass.
yeah.
Love to do that.
What does he say? I'll do blah, blah, blah when a monkey comes out of my ass.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And that is today.
At CJ in Pinstripes, let me know how you feel about the gang rape of Rob Manfred.
Evan D. Wetzel 4.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can tell him too, but I mean, this was really my idea.
mean, I'm the only one on Twitter who actually does anything. He's not going to see it.
No, I'll see it. I'll look at it. I'll at least look at it. And then I'll give you a shout out on the next week.
I have not talked to you on Twitter for at least 2 weeks.
That's not true. You talk. I told you when the whole playoff thing started, and I guess this is a good segue. When Rob Manfred came up with his ideas for the playoffs, I actually tweeted for the first time in God knows how long, basically saying Rob Manfred needs to stop having ideas. And then, yes, you were shocked that I was alive.
Yeah, and look, since that tweet, he's had more bad ideas. He didn't listen.
Any idea that he has, man, I'm surprised there isn't diarrhea flowing out of his ears. I kind of sounded like John Gruden when I said that. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to really crank up the John Gruden. That guy, man, I got to tell you, that guy, Rob Manfred, he has diarrhea coming out of his ears. It's not great. I'm going to work on it. It's not a very good impression. But listen, I'm no Frank Caliendo. I don't claim to be.
I tried to get him to follow me on the Twitter.
Frank Caliendo?
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He won't follow you?
He's like, if you come up with a clever comment, I'll follow you. And
really?
Yeah, and this was like a week ago.
Oh, wait, so he initiated that?
Yeah.
Or you reached out to him first?
No, he did a tweet how he would follow people. And I had 6 or 7 really good ones. I'm funny.
Well, I guess not funny enough to get Frank Caliendo's attention. Hold on, although I can do a pretty good John Madden.
Oh, so God damn it.
All right, here we go. All right, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Well, you know, this guy, Rob Manfred, I got to tell you, he's not a very good guy. I mean, you got to take the belt. You got to take the title. I called it a belt because I'm a wrestling fan. Let's move on. So let's talk about these.
That one was better, but
Let's talk about, boom. Let's talk about these new changes that he wants to make.
Fine.
What if I did the rest of the show in John Madden?
Please don't.
Okay,
I will get up and go home.
That's fine. The changes he has proposed to the playoffs. Hang on to your behinds. First of all, he wants 7 teams per league to make it. So that's too many. That's
almost half the teams.
yeah. Like, one of my biggest complaints about the NBA, and I guess NHL as well, it's a little different for the NBA, is that literally, at least in the NBA, literally more than half of the league makes it into the playoffs. You have a better chance of making the playoffs than not. And it's clear why that is.
And it's
Cha-ching.
frustrating,
That's
too,
all.
because you can see which teams are the top 4 in the division and which teams
Yeah.
are the bottom 4.
Right.
It's so huge.
It's almost always chalk.
Right.
It's almost like always going to be the team you expect it to be.
Yeah. Like the
hockey,
Hawks make it every year almost.
Yeah, I mean, not this year because they're utterly terrible.
They will be good.
Hockey, I kind of have the same complaint, but at the same time, you've seen 8 seeds win the Stanley Cup. So not a huge deal. I think football does it really well in having 6 teams per conference, 2 buys to start. Right. I think that's pretty good. I don't think MLB really needs that. I think the only tweak MLB needed was to really handicap the wild card winner. Yeah. The wild card winner needed to be not the wild card winner, but like the first wild card seed as opposed to the second. Yeah. There needed to be some kind of a little extra handicapping more than just home field advantage. Right. But my God, you want to have a division winner and for each division, and you want to have 4 wild cards? Oh, and by the way, they want to get rid of tiebreaker games. Did you know this? They want to get rid of tiebreaker games, and they want to do an NCAA-style committee. So if the teams are tied, a committee would get together, look at strength of schedule, and decide which teams should get in. Yeah.
I'd love to hear what the committee has to say. That would be fantastic.
Just let them play. Like, are you that
No, it's like he
with-
has to micromanage fucking everything. The game is fine. The problem is that you don't package the product well, so you're not getting young fans or this or that. You don't need to change the fucking game to do that.
The fact that it took this long to hear Mike Trout talk about something, and it had to happen when it was something really bad, Mike Trout's face should be on everything.
It should. It's unbelievable.
Altuve's face, as much as he's a flying sack of
right.
I tried to think about the basura. As much as he's a flying bag of basura, his face should be on shit. Your biggest players should be on stuff.
All the charismatic ones, at least. Bryce Harper makes money. I
How
don't like him.
hard is this?
Put him on. Manny Puchado. Put him on. Man poopies.
Well, stop it. You just had to say it for no reason.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Puchado, I was like, he's just going to fucking say man poopies. Just for no reason, he's going to say
I've
it.
also started man shits. That's another one. Man shit. Man turds.
You're a man turd. So there's also that. There's also, he wants the upper seeds to pick their opponents as opposed to having the best record versus the worst
Let's
record.
see. They're going to pick the best team to play in the first round.
Yeah.
They're not going to pick the worst team.
Well,
Who the fuck do you think they're going to pick?
The reality is they want it to be like, okay, well, for this team, maybe the 6th seed would be best because I think we pair better against. I don't know.
I don't give a shit. It's fucking stupid.
And there was something else. There was another thing. I don't remember what the other thing was. I don't even know how you
So,
would do
like,
it.
can you play from different leagues so we could just be like, yo, we're playing the Mets this year? First round?
That would be cool. Like, if you could play teams that aren't even in.
Yeah. Like, just fuck it.
I would pick the Mets.
We don't give a shit. Let's mix match. Jump into the National League.
I would do that. I would pick the Mets, and I would be like, okay, next round, I'll play the Mets again. I'll double up on Mets. Then,
even if they lose, take the Mets again.
And then World Series, we'll take the Mets.
The Mets.
What about the team from the National League?
You know
No.
what this
I
feels
said
like?
Mets.
This feels like the basketball tournament, the Northwest Regional
Yeah,
South.
I was gonna say Blurns Ball from Futurama, but
That works too.
But yeah. So that's another Manfred idea. Another Manfred idea that's going to start this year is the new relief pitcher rule, where if a reliever comes into the game, he either has to A, face 3 batters minimum, or B, end the inning, or C, get injured. But I mean, we hope C doesn't happen.
I mean, yeah. Let's hope C doesn't happen, unless it's an Astro.
He can suck my nuts. And he's going to do so forcefully.
You know what I said they should do? They should send all the major league players, the active 26-man roster, send them to single A, and then bring the single A players, bring them up and make them play the whole season.
That would be hilarious.
They'll lose so much fucking money, and all their fans will go to the single A fucking wherever that is.
I think
Albuquerque or some shit.
I think they should also every person hired by that organization since 2017 on, even if they're dead, even if they're dead, they all have to take a stink face from Rikishi. Remember Rikishi, the wrestler, the big fat Samoan guy who would wear the thong? And like you would sit in the corner and like you'd be all in the corner sitting down, and he would notice out of the corner of his eye that you're prone, and he would do one of those moves, and like he would just back his ass up into your face and rub it in. Everyone, I don't care if they're dead, dig their bodies up, put him back when he's done. Oh, you were cremated? Someone's gonna have an ashy butt. Don't know what to say. Don't know what to say about it.
With cremated people?
Dude, you were involved in the team. You gotta. Oh, I'm actually dust now. So what? Come on. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I think we've completely lost it at this point. Or
have I burned our last listener? Because I'll tell you,
only Paul's listening.
Whoever that person is, if they've stuck around with us this long, I don't think that was enough to get rid of them.
I'm sure Joe's still watching.
Not you. The Yankee fan.
Of course, our producer Joe is watching. You're literally right there. I mean, God, this is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Take care, guys.